In this unit in Excel assignment 3, we're going to work with charts. So first, you're going to highlight, and by the way, if you have the enable button displayed, make sure you hit the enable button or else you won't be able to do anything. First, we're going to select A4 through D9, and we're going to insert a chart. And there's a couple different ways to insert a chart. So one way is we can hit recommended charts, and Excel will recommend a couple different options. So for example, we could use the clustered column chart. We could use a stacked column chart. I'll choose the stacked column chart. And you can see it adds a stacked column chart. We could change that chart type. So if you're in the Chart Tools Design tab, I can click Change Chart Type. And for example, I could choose a line type. That changes it to a line chart. And likewise, I can go back to the insert. So if I just know what kind of chart I want to use, for example, I know I want to use a clustered column here. So I can just go into the Insert tab while it's highlighted, click on the Clustered Column option, and it automatically changes it to a clustered column. Of course, it's obfuscating some of my data, so I'm going to click and drag my chart down to A12, and then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger by dragging this to G28. So now my chart looks a little bit bigger. So I can start to change some of the elements in the chart. So for example, if I click on the chart, you'll see on the right-hand side over here, you get these extra menu options. One of them is this plus sign, which is the chart elements. So one of the elements is going to be the legend. So for example, the legend, I could move. So the legend, by the way, is at the very bottom. You can see where it has April, May, and June, and it shows the colors for April, May, and June. It's a guide of sort of which colors are which. So I'm going to click the little triangle next to legend. It's going to give me some different options. I can move that legend to the top of the chart. So now it's up here at the top. We can also change the look of this chart. So if you're not already there, when you highlight the chart, so if I click on the chart so that it's highlighted, I'm going to go up to the top under the chart tools. You're going to go into the Design tab, and we can switch the row and column. So go ahead and click on Switch Row and Column, and you'll notice how it goes from, right now, notice that we have clustered columns by state, and then each column is a different month. So if we switch row and column, let's see what happens. Now we have our different states as our columns, and they are grouped by month instead. So it changes the chart a little bit. Next, we're going to apply the Layout 9 Quick Layout to the chart. So for quick layouts, we're going to go up here and change it to number 9. That's number 8, so I have to click the little drop down over here. And this is going to be style number 9. So again, that was in the Chart Styles group. So I've changed the style of the chart. We're going to change the chart title. By double-clicking on it, we get our little text box. We're going to change it to Q2 sales by state. We're also going to add some labels to the vertical and the horizontal. So I'm going to click on the chart again. I get the little plus sign. And we're going to go to Axis Titles. And we're going to add the primary vertical, primary horizontal. So I'm going to check on both of those. And then I'm going to change it. So we can change this to, let's see, we're going to make this month. And we'll make this one sales. There we go. Now we've got some labels on here. Not that anyone would need those labels. We can also go back and change the style again. So I'm going to click on my styles once again in the styles group, and we'll change it to style 4. So it looks a little different. Now notice it kept my title. It also kept the month and the sales, so the vertical axis and the bottom, but it did change a little bit of the styling. So now instead of having our sales up the side, instead it's written across the columns. So it did change that a little bit. And if it doesn't look nice, you could always drag to make your chart a little bit bigger if you like. I'm going to drag mine out. There we go. Now it looks a little bit nicer. So let's create a different kind of chart now. Now we're going to create a pie chart. So let's go up to the top again, and this time we're going to highlight A5 to A9. And we are also going to highlight E5 to E9. So E5 to E9. Now let me just show you what I'm doing here. So first, I click and highlight A5 to A9. Then I'm going to hold down the control key. So I'm holding down the control key on my keyboard. And while holding down the control key, I'm highlighting E5 to E9. And then I release the control key. And that's going to allow me to highlight both of those at the same time, even though they're not next to one another. So again, that's going to be the control key that will allow you to do that. So once I highlight those, I can insert. So I'm going to go to Insert, and we're going to insert a pie chart. So we're going to insert a pie, and we're going to use the 3D pie chart. So here we go. There's our 3D pie chart. All right, so now we have a pie chart showing us roughly the sales for each region. And you can see clearly here that California has the lion's share of the pie. Of course, this is looking a little busy, so we're going to want to move this to a different sheet. So I'm going to right-click on my pie chart, and we should be able to move this to a different sheet. So we're going to click on Move Chart. We're going to put it in a new sheet, and I'm just going to call it, actually, our book wants to call it QT Sales by State. All right, so now we have this in its own sheet. So we have a new sheet. So there's sheet 1 that we were on before. Here's our new sheet with our pie chart. And just like we did with the previous chart, we can change some of the chart elements. For example, I can put a new title in. So I'm going to make the title QT Sales by State. In the the chart styles, we can apply a different chart style. So our book wants us to use layout number 6. So that's going to be the 6th one in, which is this one right here. There we go. I believe that's style number 6. We're going to. So what I'd like you to do is play with some of the options in the chart styles. So you can make some different changes in here. So for example, I can add some labels to my pie chart over here. So I'm going to change to add the percentage to mine on their quick layout. They're a little bit too small, right? So I'm going to click on these, go back to home, and I can increase that font size a bit so it's a little bit easier to see. That's a little bit too large, so let me back that off just a little bit. There we go. That looks nice. So try to make your pie chart, try to give it some style so that you can see the percentages by state, just like I did here. And again, I did that by going into the Design tab and selecting a quick layout style. So after I selected chart style 6, I went into quick layout, chose the one that showed the percentage. All right, so now I can see the percentage for each area, for each region. Once you get to this step and your pie chart looks like this, go ahead and save your spreadsheet, and this is what you'll turn in for the assignment. When you save it, be sure to select QT Sales by State when you save it. And this will be the default that comes up when you open up your document, when you open up the spreadsheet. And go ahead and turn that into Blackboard, and that concludes Excel Assignment 3.